Hi champions and newcomers, welcome back to my RSL channel. Super stoked to have you here to talk about the two big blocks of Raid Shadow Legends, the two main gatekeepers of this game. I swear, there are somewhat written, unwritten, not rules, but these are challenges that you absolutely have to overcome to actually start playing Raid Shadow Legends, guys. And I've made these observations purely out of my own experience as a content creator and as a complete newbie to the game and the genre. I've collected these for you and I want to give you some opinions and some food for thought. And again, this video is gonna be more targeted towards the newcomers and the newbies of Raid Shadow Legends, not so much for mid-end game players, but if you enjoy my vibes anyway, please stick around. We're gonna talk about things you already know and agree with, and you can also support some of our newbies in the comment section. Right, let's get right into it, guys. First and foremost, and this has been talked about a lot, but Demon Lord, Ultra Nightmare, Nightmare are the first, maybe first, big gatekeeper of this game. Until you start raiding Ultra Nightmare and Nightmare for the last chests, Ultimate in Nightmare, and Transcendent in Ultra Nightmare, until you start getting Sacreds, Voids, and subsequently Legendary Skill Tomes and Epic Skill Tomes, and all these goodies. Don't forget to click on my link in the description to get a free Legendary Norma, as well as Anax, Ugo, and Mausoleum Mage as you level up your account. Here is how to do it. Log out of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. This will give you a huge advantage in raid, so go click on my link right now and let's crush this together. Now, reason number one is, like any gacha game, raid is really about collecting all kinds of champions. It's not just about collecting the best ones, the hard-hitting ones, because you cannot progress in this game with sheer brute force. It's impossible. There are certain bosses that you cannot beat without certain mechanics of the game. For example, and let's see if we have them here in Curse City, but we have Frostbiter. I've already beaten Frostbiter, but the Frostbiter will keep reviving itself if you don't bring a burn and you don't kill it while it's burning, or naturally a block revive champion will do as well just fine. But these are two game mechanics that you cannot do without. You cannot beat Scarab King without bringing a shield on your team. Now that's a buff, but you need to keep pulling champions to get these mechanics in the skills, right? If you don't have a champion that brings a shield, you cannot begin to even deal with Scarab King. Now for Demon Lord, you can't really get far without using some sort of burn, some sort of poison, some sort of damage over time dot that will stack with the 50 turns, and that applies for both Hydra and Chimera. But Demon Lord is the first place where you will meet this mechanic and you will understand its importance. We're not talking about heal reductions here, we're not talking about stuns or anything, we're talking about sheer damage, poison, HP burn, damage based off enemy max HP, damage based on buffs, damage based on debuffs. So there's RNG in play, right? You're not gonna start pulling amazing champions from your first time pulling shards, right? You know the ancient shard, Mercy. You have to pull 200 ancient shards and not hit a legendary to start racking up some percent up in the Mercy system on the ancient shards. So what goes for the Sacreds, right? Well, Sacreds, you have to go for 12 summons without a legendary to start racking up Mercy, but you get about 10 to 15 Sacreds a month as someone who can raid Ultra Nightmare and Nightmare consistently. You are gonna get a lot more ancient shards out of that. Now, in a time period of your account early game when you can only really get ancient shards, these are treasured, right? You look at these as if you've hit gold. Rare champions are not of scarcity anymore. So every once in a while you will hit one of these champions that brings along a mechanic that you really need in the game to progress further. But the legendary champions and the mythicals, we're talking about a completely different caliber here of damage, of multiple buffs, debuffs that they can bring on the same skill, on versatility, on multipliers, on whatnot. So you reach a point in the game, mid-game, when you start raiding Ultra Nightmare and Nightmare, where you're gonna get a lot of ancient shards, and you're gonna get ever so few sacred shards, and you're gonna realize that for the amount of duplicates that you're gonna start hitting on these shards, you're gonna understand it's gonna take a little while before we hit absolutely every champion in Raid Shadow Legends. That's one of the points of the game. There is no hitting all champions. They keep reintroducing and introducing new champions all the time. So you constantly have something new to hit. It's not what it's about. It's about getting the right champions at the right time. Say I had never gotten a Helicath out of, by the way, what was a Prism Shard. I did my first Prism Shard pull and I got myself Helicath, who is the backbone of my clan boss team. The backbone. Without him, I would have probably progressed after getting a Geomancer. But that was maybe 3 or 4 months into my account, into my journey. Helicath was there month 1, alongside He-Man, who we're gonna talk about in a little bit as well. But that was me being a whale. I paid to get Helicath. That wasn't luck. That wasn't consistency. That wasn't raiding Ultra Nightmare or Nightmare over and over and over, or getting sacred shards from wherever I can, or lucking out on ancients. This was money. I shortcutted my way through it. I'm sure that for a lot of people it's not the same experience, and you have to play with poisons that Kale brings. You have to play with burn. You have to play with, well, a lot of poisons, to be fair. It's just a lot of poisons that stack is ultimately the way to go about progressing without some sort of block damage or shield or a buff increase, because Demon Lord, as you know, increases its attack the more turns it takes. Genderless, it's a creature. To be politically correct. But even a Helicath by himself, I took absolutely everywhere. It wasn't just clan boss. I took him in every dungeon. I took him in every arena match, whether it was classic or live arena. I took him down in Curse City. I took him up in Doom Tower at his faction wars. My Demon Spoils were the first faction that hit 50 stars. Without Helicath, all of this would have been impossible. And then I hit a Doom Priest, and that made my clan boss team. Had I not gotten these 2 champions, I would still struggle getting a 4 key in Ultra Nightmare. This is what I mean. It's not just consistency, it's also a lot of luck. And that is the first block that you encounter in Raid. And after you start getting about 80 Ancient Shards a month, up to 100, and you start getting up to 15 Sacred Shards and up to 20 Void Shards, even a little bit more, you see how you start pulling a lot more champions that you need, that you would love building out. A lot of champions that duplicate and cover up with the rest of your champions' kit. RNG, what can you do? Everybody's journey is gonna look different, and that's the beauty of the game. To make a long story short, the more shards, the more champions, the more gacha, the more winsies, the more fun. The second biggest block, and this is so stupid that it works that way, is the Great Hole bonuses. Getting Arbiter, actually. Getting Arbiter involves getting your area bonus to level 10, at least 1. And, ironically enough, you have the hardest time collecting classic arena medals without Arbiter, that it takes you 6 months to complete just this one mandatory mission to upgrade a Great Hall Affinity node up to level 10. This is the ironic part. Ever since I've gotten Arbiter and I've built her out, the amount of gold medals that I've been getting from here is skyrocketed. So what happens now? The last CVC, from the moment that you watch the video to the last CVC, it's been no more than a week and a half, maybe 2. And by the time you watch this video, because it is pre-recorded, I would have probably hit the 1000s. Given that I spent all of them to upgrade these 2 Great Hall nodes during the last personal reward CVC. So that is over 800 gold medals for about 2 weeks of grinding Classic Arena regularly, but not as regularly as I did while I was completing these Arbiter missions, guys. That is my first point. I don't know why it works that way, but it is something that you just have to push through. Getting Arbiter, on the other hand, gives you the pass to Classic Arena and Live Arena. Getting your Arbiter as fast as you can. Don't look at mine. I am ashamed of the speeds of my Arbiter, but I am getting her there. I am rolling up gear. I'm trying to get triple and quadruple speed rolls. It's just not that easy. But even not up to the speeds that Arbiter should be. This aura bonus here, the 30% of ally speed in arena battles increase, is what changes the game. Now, Classic Arena and Live Arena and Tag Team become about being first and racing with the other teammates, the other arbiters, the other speed aura champions that you're gonna face here in Classic Arena. The point is to get to Gold 5 and stick to it. I personally have not been able to make the push to Platinum so far. I have to make my Arbiter much faster to get to that point and play for a little bit longer, right? But considering that for half a year, I was struggling to upgrade this Great Hole accuracy node, and I saw how much it changes when you upgrade these. I'm seeing debuffs land a lot more frequently. I'm starting to imagine the power that I would have and this account would have after I complete all of these affinity bonuses and I level everything up. Now that is what makes endgame builds so impressive, and what you see on YouTube is the numbers are astronomical. It's the affinity bonuses here, it's the area bonuses here, it's all of these things play a role. And on another note, Arbiter, unless you're lucky, will be your first big speed aura boost, and not only, she will be your first big turn meter increaser. Now, as someone who did not have the greatest grasp and concept of turn meter, how it applies to the game, what it means for your battles and speed and how that all ties together, Arbiter will be the one to teach you of its importance, because this turn meter fill of 30% on all allies sometimes is all you need to get the last hit. Well, what I've noticed in Arena in particular, and I didn't know that that's how Arena is gonna work. I thought there's gonna be a lot more mechanics that came to play, but apparently Arena is about getting there first, hitting them hard enough to not let them take a turn and kill them within your turn. That's what Arbiter is for. She's gonna boost your team and then you one-shot them. You debuff them and then you one-shot them. Important step there. And that's what Arena is about. It's not about survivability as I thought. It's not about who's gonna build their champions to have the most amount of defense or HP, or it's speed. It's speed and smacking them out before they get the chance to touch you. In my case, He-Man, that I mentioned earlier, really saved my ass. Because until I got Arbiter, he was my Arena Aura lead. He gave me a speed up by 28%, which is exactly as much as I needed to combat all of these Wukongs out there, because I don't have a Wukong. I didn't get him through a beginner promo code. I didn't know that such a thing existed at the time, but He-Man was my savior. He faced all of these Wukongs and sometimes outsped them. That's why I built them semi-fast. See, 214 is normal for a nuker, but for the stage of my account that I was at, he was one of my fastest champions. My faster champion was Ugo. She was the fastest at the time. And then was He-Man. And you can really tell by the build. You can tell that I just slammed on him. The Forge Pass artifacts that we got, I guess they fit him. A random 4-star gauntlet crit rate and the random 4-star attack chest plate. He really does need an upgrade, guys. But you know, ever since I pulled Thor, he's taking care of what I used He-Man to take care of. But in live arena, He-Man comes in clutch. If they ban my Arbiter, I can just go in with this speed or lead. But do we all agree that Arbiter is the real gatekeeper to the game? Maybe not so much Clan Boss as much as Arbiter, because when you start getting these Great Hole bonuses, and I don't even know the scope of this, that's when your power really grows. So as backwards as it is, right? Get your Great Hole working, start building up that node, and we all try to, well, by all of us, I mean content creators, we try to give importance to accuracy just because it's so hard to get from anywhere else, and accuracy, one of the deciding factors of whether your strategies and teams are gonna work. Without accuracy, you can't really land any debuffs, so max that out first, 100%. And I know it's backwards. You need a speed aura lead to even get up to Gold 5, and unless you get lucky to pull a speed aura champ, this is just gonna be the limbo that you're stuck at for a little while. Thank God for all of the creators out there that have so many guides on absolutely every aspect of the game. Building a Demon Lord team, building a Hydra team, Chimera team, building a classic arena team, building a whatever dungeon team. There's so many guys out there. You're never gonna be alone in this struggle, and we've all been there. We've all been stuck at Demon Lord, and we've all been stuck upgrading the affinity bonuses. For me personally, in my own journey, the real game changers were Helicath, He-Man, Doom Priest because she makes my unkillable Clan Boss team, Geomancer because he doubled my damage everywhere and actually let me tackle some Iron Twins And then later on, Arbiter sealed the deal for me. And every subsequent champion that I've built out after has been built out for the purpose of progression, because I need them. But these were the champions that I got, I built out blindly, I trusted their potential. I would even count Ugo towards that list. I trusted what the people were saying about them, I trusted whatever I was reading about in guides, speed aura, whatever, right? Unkillable clan boss, sure, okay, whatever I need to do. And I was not only not disappointed, but the game completely changed for me. It really did. So, guys, don't lose hope. We all wish that changes would have been made to many aspects of the game, but all we can really do is talk about them now. And so good luck tackling these challenges, fellas and felinas. What's the female for fellas? Ladies? Girlies? Girly pop? Thanks for coming to another TED Talk of mine. I hope you found this enjoyable and fun. If you're a new player watching this, welcome. Welcome to the little family that we've created here. Super stoked to have you. If you're an old player watching this, thank you for sticking through with me. I hope you were here for the vibes and you were not disappointed. Well, thanks for hanging out, and I'll catch you guys again in the next one. Bye!